All right, it's been about 6 months, maybe just a smidgen more, since Manjaro has put out a point release. And just a few days ago, they released 0.8.11. And let me tell you what, kids, this new release brings new meaning to user-friendliness with all of the enhancements and improvements that they have made to this wonderful distribution, as you will see right now on Spatry's Cup of Linux. Alright, now I'm going to do a few things a little bit differently than I've done in previous Manjaro or Manjaro roundups that I've done on my show. Instead of covering all these applications and everything that come bundled with it, I have done so many Manjaro videos that you can pretty much just sift through them on my channel and you can see what kind of applications and that sort of thing. The focus on this is to actually cover what has changed. And as an added bonus, I am going to throw some unofficial community spins into the mix and show you how people are actually rebuilding this wonderful distribution. So what has changed? Well, XFCE still is the flagship desktop, and this includes tested packages from 4.11, which is their development, and everything is tested to ensure better usability and stability. I can tell you from my own personal experience, I love what they're doing with this. XFCE just keeps getting all kinds of really good updates, and actually whenever I do get an update to the system, I'm always looking forward to all of the improvements that XFCE is getting. So awesome job from the Manjaro team for doing that. Now also there is a Turkish team of Manjaro who is continuing to deliver excellence to KDE, and we're going to have a quick look at the KDE version of this. Also, Axum, who is a member of my community and is on the support team at Manjaro, mentioned that they are also working on a development version of the KDE 5. Now, that hasn't officially released yet, but we're still going to take a brief look at the development version of that in this video today. Another change that has taken place is the Linux kernel used in the 0811 installation media is the 3.16 series. This series of kernel has been selected for its blend of stability, long-term viability, and modern features and hardware support. Now, also, what has been improved, and I couldn't believe how beautiful this looks, Manjaro's Menda themes have been reworked to best match the Manjaro styling. Now, the Manjaro Settings Manager now provides an easy-to-use graphical interface for installing and removing the many series of kernels that are available. And Manjaro's selection of readily available kernels remains the most extensive out of any Linux distribution that I have encountered. And such a wide array of available kernel options results in extensive hardware support, getting you the most out of your system, whether it is old or new. Of further interest, the Manjaro Settings Manager now also includes friendly graphical interfaces for adjusting system date and time settings and for customizing notifications for available kernel and language pack updates. So now we're at a point, Manjaro pretty much has a GUI for everything you would want to do with your system without having to open up a terminal, so that makes it even easier for newbies who are too shy to open up a terminal. How cool is that? Okay, now both of the graphical package management tools that are available for Manjaro have been improved as well. Octopi has been updated to 0.5, and it brings many improvements and bug fixes. This ships using a Qt 5 for the main interface, and there's also the Generica update notifier and a notifier package with initial KDE Framework 5 support. Okay, now PAMAC, which happens to be the GUI graphic the package manager in the XFCE desktop has been updated to 2.0. And they actually reworked this. Now, something I want to point out is, really, I never used it that much, but Phil asked me, hey, Spat, could you please just run this on your system and test it with every build and that sort of thing. It worked, but there was only one thing. The icon would never light up when there was an update. Well, it appears they actually fixed it, and everything is working beautifully. So excellent job there. And the main reason why I never really used it that much is because, well, I like using the terminals. So I just issued the commands in the terminal to update the system, and I would just run those updates once a week. So that seemed to work out just fine for me. Okay, now, some other improvements that have been done is Steam is now provided with 2 launcher choices. You've got the standard launcher, and then, of course, they have also included one for using the compatibility library. So if you do have a game that is not working in Steam, you can try the other launcher and see if that works. Personally, I've never had any issues with running anything on Steam, but it's good that they actually included that. Now, although the main installation medias continue to utilize Systemd, Manjaro now optionally offers extensive support for the OpenRC init system, giving you the power of choice for your init system, something readily offered in Linux distributions nowadays. And I can tell you what, if I ever build up enough courage to give this a try, I might throw together a video to show you guys how to set up OpenRC as an alternative init system to Systemd. Yeah, that is if I can come up with enough courage with that. All right, so now that I've covered all the changes, let's take a quick look at these desktops. And of course, the first place on our tour is the flagship XFCE desktop, and I really love what they have brought to the table here. It does have a more modern theme. Personally, I would prefer something darker, and that's what I've done on my own personal release. I'll show that later. But this is looking pretty cool. I like the flat icons and that sort of thing. Looks kind of nice. All right, and they've got their own little they've got some new themes and everything, as I mentioned earlier. I really like what they did with the cursor here as well. So I'm probably going to be nicking this and customizing the cursor sets and everything as well. So this is looking really good pretty much for the software selections. Everything remains the same for the most part, with the exception of Steam in the games area here, where they now have 2 launchers for that. So all is very good. On default, when you do install this, there is now a launcher on the desktop so that you can open up IRC and get support for this, which is also very good. As you can see here, here is the icon with the available updates. And if I use the update manager here, it's going to scan and it's going to show me that Firefox and OpenVPN has some updates. And that is what really caught me yesterday, because after I had installed all the updates and everything, all of a sudden the next day, bing, the thing lit up and it told me there were updates available, and I was like, wow, it actually works now, cool. So it was really nice to see this. But something else I'd like to mention, if you have AUR support enabled on this, and that is by going into preferences here, okay, and you have enable AUR support turned on. All right, what will happen is when you have packages from the AUR installed on here, it will notify you. And then when it goes to build those packages, instead of just trying to build it itself like it did before, it does bring back a terminal window that allows for user interaction. And I think that is essential anyway, because you really need to see what is going on in case a package doesn't build properly. You can pretty much see why. Maybe even go in and select an alternative package from the AUR, or edit the package build yourself so that you can get a proper build out of that. So I think it's a good idea that they did that. But for the most part, this does a nice job of building packages from the AUR as well. So very nice indeed. And then, of course, all of your other notifications and everything. The look and feel of this is very nice. On to KDE. Upon first glance, when I watched this boot up and everything, I was like, wow, this looks cool. I really like what they've done with the theming and everything on this. Now, something I'd like to mention, the KDE version, instead of using PEMEC, this uses Octopi. Let's take a quick look at that. Okay, we open up Octopi here. And this gives you somewhat of a look and feel similar to like the Synaptic Package Manager, or at least what people on my forum have said. You can use this as well for installing packages from the AUR if you wish. All you have to do is enable that. And then, of course, this gives you notifications when you have updates that are readily available as well, which I think is pretty cool. The overall look and feel of the system is very refreshing and overall appealing. For me, though, I still prefer the dark themes, but it's very easy to change the themes in the KDE system. Another thing I really liked about this in my initial testing is this is just fast. I've looked at a lot of KDE distributions, and some of them just seem to feel bloated, and you don't experience this in Manjaro KDE edition. I like the fresh look and feel. I like how they've got all their widgets set up. Personally, I don't really care to have widgets or icons on my desktop and that sort of thing. But the way they set up everything in this, it really does make a lot of sense. And of course, with all the other releases, they have a nice suite of applications. I also think that the launcher that they chose for this is very refreshing and very nice to work with. So if you are coming over from the Windows side of things, this would give you a familiar feel in a way, I think. And then, of course, this also has some quick launches to other utilities such as your settings. You click your settings here, and just like in the Manjaro XFCE version, this system settings dialog that you have here looks very similar. So if you're transitioning over from one version of Manjaro to another, at least there is an air of familiarity here so that you can easily get in and change the settings, make it your own. Go into your application appearance. You can go in and change the colors and the style to anything you want. I think I would probably go something a little bit more along the lines of this. Apply that, and then you've got a nice matching theme on the system. Not really sure about the glow around the windows, and that is KWin, by the way, that you're seeing that's providing those optical effects, and you can do all kinds of really cool things with it, such as the cube. You can make the windows wobble and all that other stuff. So I'm really liking what the team has done with the KDE desktop. It's looking better and better and better. And while we're on the subject of KDE, and here is the development version of the KF5 desktop, or the Manjaro 090 pre-release. Now you'll notice this isn't filling the screen. In my initial tests, I was unable to get this to properly display filling the screen. I believe this could be an anomaly within both VirtualBox and VMware, which I have this currently running on. The KWin 5 just doesn't seem to want to behave properly, and that's one reason why I did not include the KWin 5 in my build of MCOL, or the Manjaro Cup of Linux edition. But I like what I'm seeing here thus far, and because this is a development build, if you guys download it, I do not recommend, you may experience some minor problems with this. I like the overall look and feel of what they've done with KDE 5. I like this, the pancake menu appearance, for instance, over the cashews. That's kind of cool, but you have all the functions that the KDE 4 gave you, but now they've sort of refined the look of this, and it seems to behave a little bit faster as well. 4 desktops to switch from. You'll notice Octopi is blinking. It's letting me know there are 69 updates available for this, and, well, I don't feel like downloading updates for that right now. But that's kind of cool. I like how that how the little ghost there is throbbing there. To alert you of the updates. Very cool indeed. I like the menu on this. It has a very nice appearance, and this menu gives you 2 choices. You can get to the regular system settings right here, which will allow you to change the look and feel. Right now, there aren't that many themes included with this, but I imagine you can go online and get additional themes because, well, K85 is still relatively new, so, the people out there need some time to get some themes and stuff developed for this. Also, you get a quick launch to the Manjaro settings manager where you will be able to change your kernels and that sort of thing. Of course, it's going to ask for a password. And as I indicated, they do have a GUI for everything, pretty much everything you're going to want to do here. So if you want to update your kernel, and this is the same on all of the spins that we're looking at here, so you have the ability to do that. You can just go in and pick out the one you want and install that kernel. So if I wanted to go to Linux 3.10, I could install that. And then once installed, after a reboot, it'll boot into Linux 3.10, or you can click the advanced menu option and you can choose. You could install all of these kernels if you wanted to, and then on the grub prompt you can pick which one you want to boot from. So, and this is nice because this gives you more compatibility options regardless of whether you're running brand new hardware or you're running something that's older. So this gives you plenty of options there. Let's go back into all settings. And again, you can manage your language packages, your language preferences. You can manage your user accounts. This utility here will let you add and remove user accounts, time and date. You can specify your notification preferences. That's where that little pop-up window comes up. I find those annoying. I have all of them shut off. You can manage your keyboard settings here, and then of course the Manjaro hardware detection tool, and this is the powerful thing that they have here because this will automatically, now I'm used to using this from a terminal. I just type in a command in the terminal, it automatically detects my hardware and will install the driver for it. But it's nice that there is a GUI for this now. Great for those of you who really have a fear of using the terminal. So it's nice that this is bundled in with this. I like how this is looking. It still needs a little bit of work though. So with that being said, for those of you who are adventurous, you'll definitely want to look for this on SourceForge. Just do a search for just go on SourceForge, search for Manjaro KF5. You should be able to find this very easily. And now we're going to move on to the portion of this show where I'm going to cover some community spins, but I'm going to do something a little bit different. Before I've done official community spins, and this time I'm going to cover some submissions that people have made on cupoflinux.com, so this should be interesting. My partner in crime, Matthew Moore, has recently re-released his rendition of 0811 of Manjaro by Matthew Moore. And basically, I believe all he's done with this is just given us an updated snapshot. But what Matthew's done with this is he's made every attempt to make Manjaro even more user-friendlier. Rather than going with the default software selections, he actually went in and chose some different applications. Now, I'm sure within the next few days, Matthew will be releasing a new video covering all the details that have been included with this. Now, like the standard XFCE edition that Manjaro ships with, this also has the same theming set, other than there are a few simple customizations. I really like what he has done with the panel here. He's got some notification settings and that sort of thing bundled in with this. And that is a really cool thing about this latest XFCE release, in that you don't even have to run Conky, because there are enough applets. Let me go ahead and pull this up for you so that you can see what I'm talking about here. If you go into panel preferences here and you go into items, all right, you're going to see here that you can add all kinds of stuff in here. By pressing this plus key, you're going to see there are tons and tons and tons of widgets that you can add to your panel. So if you wanted to, you could create an additional panel like the one you see here. You could put all of your notifications and that sort of thing. You can put the weather, you can put the time, you can put a CPU graph, and this will measure all of your CPUs as well. So, I mean, you have a lot of options with the XFCE panel that you could make this even more powerful than a lot of the clunky configurations that you see out there, and make it nice and compact. So if you're a minimalist like myself, you don't like icons on your desktop, and I tend to tile all of my windows, so it's nice to be able to have all of my notifications in one tiny little area, and I'll show you what I mean in a little bit. But to be able to have all those notifications in a tiny area so that nothing is interfering with your workflow. So that's always very nice. But I do know that Matthew does like Conky, so I'm pretty sure he still has that loaded in here. I like the icon set that this is included. It's flat, but I'm still more of a traditional icon user myself, but it seems like everything is moving over to this. So all in all, this looks really good. Let's move on to our next community build. Another member of the Cup of Linux community named Ventilorian has this used to be called VentOS, now it's called mprov. And this is still under development. I think he's putting the final release up today. And this is yet another respin, which attempts to make Manjaro even more user-friendly. And I gotta tell you, I think he's trying to show me up on this one to make a distribution that looks really elegant. And this is very pleasing to the eye. I love the desktop and the theming and everything. I even like what he has done with putting a beautiful plank on the bottom of this. Personally, I don't really care for plank though, because plank is not as user-friendly as if I were to just make a new panel out of XFCE, and then because then you can just easily drag and drop icons. And I've had problems with plank in the past, but that may have changed. So I really like what he's done here. He's got quick launches to almost everything that he feels is important on here. I like the look and feel of this, although as stated, I would go with something darker. Really, I think this would look even cooler if he were to make everything transparent, like he's done with the panel and that sort of thing. And then, as I was talking about earlier, you notice how there are little notifications here on the screen. So this does away with the need for having a Conky, because you could have little indications on your system, just like this. Like this has an email checker and that sort of thing. Of course, you'd have to go in and configure these to work with them. But I like the look and feel of this nonetheless. Okay, this doesn't have a drop-down terminal like my distribution does, but he does have a quick launch available for that. And then, of course, you'll see how he has everything themed. He's picked a beautiful icon set to go with this, as many distributions nowadays are switching to the flat icon themes, where I prefer something more traditional. So there are download links available at cupoflinux.com. You'll need to check out the forum, because this is where all of the community spins that I've been showing here are fully supported, and where they have links and release notes and that sort of thing. So you want to hop in and check that out, because Vint has his support thread, Matthew has his support area, and then of course I have my own section. And we'll take another quick look at the Cup of Linux edition. And here it is. And of course, this one now features KWin. A lot of you guys wanted it, and now you've got it. And who knows, maybe the next release I might even throw in Mate Desktop, and even throw in a KDE desktop with this as well. So you'll get the best of all worlds, possibly in the next release. But we got KWin going on here for some desktop effects, but that's okay. You still also have in the window manager options, you have compiz. That hasn't really changed at all. XFWM4 is the default window or display manager when you actually log into it. K1 or Metacity is available, which controls some window borders for you, for those of you who are using compiz and you want another option available. That is there for you as well. And pretty much no other changes other than the changes that I had mentioned. But the thing is, if you guys do decide that you want to have a look at this, you can always find download links on the front page of couplelinux.com. I know on my YouTube video when I put out the release announcements, the links are not available to unregistered guests, so you would need to go to the front page, and I've already gone ahead and I updated that information. But this flavor is a little bit different than the other flavors that I've shown you in the community bins. This has a more traditional look and feel to it with a nice dark theme. If you spend as many hours in front of a computer as I do, your eyes will thank you by having a nice, elegant, dark theme instead of having all those bright colors shining in your eyes and that sort of thing. So something like this reduces eye strain and that sort of thing. Matthew Moore helped me pick all the applications that are included with this. We've got HexChat has been themed with dark themes, so has Firefox, and this is a complete operating system containing most software that anybody would need. But then again, all of the versions that we've looked at in today's show are complete operating systems in their own right. And naturally, when you're visiting Manjaro's website, you can get information on all of the releases that are available just by clicking on Get Manjaro here. They have links in the description for the XFCE edition, the KDE edition, and the Minimal Net edition. Now, apparently, according to what I'm seeing here, they're not listing OpenBox as an official release. I'm not sure why that is. I haven't been keeping an eye so much on what the Manjaro community is doing on their website as I've got people that I'm supporting on my own website, and that's a lot of work in of itself. But here you have a page to the community editions, okay, and you can just click the link to the community editions here, and a new browser tab will open up. Okay, and it looks like, so what they've done is they've moved OpenBox over. So here are the flavors that you can get in the community editions. You can get the OpenBox edition. We've looked at that previously. You can get the Netbook edition. They have it in Cinnamon, Pequim, Fluxbox, Mate, and I might even include that in an upcoming release. If you guys want Mate in MCOL or the Manjaro Cup of Linux edition, post on my forum and tell me about it. If there's enough demand, I will include it. All right. You also have LXQT. I have a tutorial showing you how to install that on your Manjaro build. You have Enlightenment, GNOME, and LXDE. So, in essence, there is a user-friendly Manjaro for everyone out there. And all of these include all of the tools necessary, so even somebody who's relatively new to Linux but is somewhat computer savvy would be able to get a lot out of these distributions. So at the end of the day, Manjaro is an awesome distribution to work with, and I can't thank the Manjaro team and everybody who contributes to the Manjaro project in some way or another, because this just keeps getting better and better and better. And I can tell you from my own personal experience, this has been the longest running distribution I've ever had on my hardware. As a matter of fact, I think I've been running this since the 0.8.6 version, and I only had one problem when I had only one issue. Now, when I've been running other distributions, such as any of the Ubuntu derivatives, Arch, and that sort of thing, sometimes updates would cause problems, and this has been Manjaro has been the least problematic for me personally. And, so that's got a lot to say right there. This is an awesome project, and that's why I spend so much time supporting this on my forum, because this has really enriched the way I use Linux, and I highly recommend this to anybody. Well, that's all I have in this edition of Manjaro Mania. If you have any comments on this particular video, please click the comments link in the description below. That will take you to my forum, where I'll be happy to receive your feedback here. I have so many videos on YouTube, it's impossible for me to even read all the comments and everything that's coming in now. So if you need to get a hold of me, the cupoflinux.com is the best place to go. Let me go ahead and show you right here. This is the front page of Cup of Linux, where the download instructions and everything are, or the home button. We also have a Mumble chat server, and we also have a chat room available to you here as well, so that you can pop on in and get support on these distros. We try our best to answer all questions Manjaro related. If you go into our forum here, you're going to see we have some big sections for providing support. We do have the Manjaro only with the Matthew Moore child board, and if there's enough demand for MProv, we'll probably add another board for that. And then, of course, we have all kinds of boards for MCOL right here, where you can come in and get support. So, I can't stress enough how friendly the Manjaro community is over other communities I've seen online. So definitely well worth your time, well worth checking out. Phil Mueller and team, thank you. All of you guys that are contributing. You guys are the best. You know it. Keep making this better. I am confident by the time Manjaro reaches version 1.0, I believe that this will be user-friendly enough that anybody, regardless of experience level, will be able to actually use this distribution and get a lot out of it. That's all I have for now. Peace out.